This lecture is on energy flow in ecosystems. I'm going to divide this lecture recording into two parts. So I will cover energy flow, photosynthesis, respiration in the first recorded lecture, and then food webs and energy pyramids in the second recorded lecture. So the topics that I will cover for this entire PowerPoint are energy flow, food webs, and what we call ecological pyramids. Now, keep in mind that the food web and ecological pyramid parts will be in the second recorded lecture. So the first part that we will go over is energy flow. So your learning objective for this section of the PowerPoint is to explain how energy flows through the ecosystem using photosynthesis and what we call cellular respiration. I keep moving this toolbar around, so I apologize about that. Okay, so let's talk about energy flow. So ecosystems use sunlight as a source of energy. So sunlight is like the ultimate source of energy for basically life on the planet. Now, without the sun, all life would cease to exist. Now, many of you have probably heard that the sun is going to burn out in however many years. I actually haven't looked into that to determine whether that's a valid statement or not. But should the sun burn out, I guess, in millions of years from now, then yes, life would cease to exist on our planet. So let's talk about photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is conducted mostly by plants. Well, all plants do photosynthesis. And that's probably what you have heard about if you've heard about photosynthesis at all. There are also some bacteria and some algae that conduct this process as well. Now, many people think that algae is a plant, but it is not a plant. Algae belongs to a group that we call protists, which are all kinds of different organisms that we really have trouble placing in other groups, right? So what occurs during photosynthesis is that the plant, I'll just talk about plants, absorbs sunlight and water and carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Now, inside this part of a cell called a chloroplast, those ingredients are used to produce sugar and oxygen. Now, we need both of those things, sugar and oxygen, in order for life to continue on this planet. And I want to take a second here too and point out that global warming is occurring because of too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, among other things. And so plants are so important for taking that carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. So the more that we cut down our forests, the greater the effect on atmospheric carbon dioxide levels and global warming. So just to state it again, during photosynthesis, plants bring in sunlight, they get water through the soil and carbon dioxide, which comes in through the leaves. And with those ingredients, they produce sugar and oxygen. And oxygen is released through the leaves. So now let's talk about a process which you probably haven't heard of called cellular respiration. So this occurs in your cells and it's different from respiration like breathing, right? They're related, but cellular respiration occurs in your cells. Now, during cellular respiration, your cells use sugar and oxygen, and they make a type of energy that your cells can use to reproduce, to heal wounds, to do all kinds of things that your body needs to do. Okay, so oxygen and water and sugar come into the cells. They use those ingredients to make cellular energy and carbon dioxide. So see, these two processes link, and I have a slide that shows you that. So in this slide here, I have the tree showing you photosynthesis. Now, photosynthesis, hopefully you can see my cursor here, produces glucose, which is sugar, and oxygen. Now, here are all of like humans, cows, all kinds of animals. We eat plants or we eat animals that eat plants, right? Plants are the bottom or base level of all ecosystems. There are a few exceptions to that, but we're not really going to go into that right now. But they are considered the producers. They produce all of the sugar and food that we need in our ecosystem. Now, here we have animals, right? It's showing you a bunch of animals in this picture. We consume the sugar and the oxygen inside our cells. It produces cellular energy and carbon dioxide, and we release that carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Okay, so what this is telling you is the ingredients for photosynthesis are produced by consumers, or what we call heterotrophs, by organisms that eat other organisms, right? Organisms that eat other organisms produce the carbon dioxide that trees or plants need for photosynthesis. Okay, so the products of one process are the ingredients or what goes into the other process. So I'm going to summarize this here. I'm going to write on my slide. Takes me a second to set it up. Okay. So the products from photosynthesis are the, I'm going to say, inputs for cellular respiration. Okay, that's my first statement. A little bullet point on it here. Okay. So the products from photosynthesis are the inputs for cell respiration. And then the products from cellular respiration are the inputs for photosynthesis. Okay, so it's a cycle. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is that all living organisms have to conduct cellular respiration. Even plants that do photosynthesis, they still have to conduct cellular respiration. So photosynthesis occurs primarily in plants, right? We don't photosynthesize, we don't make our own food. But cell respiration occurs in everything, every living organism. So I'm going to write that here. I'm going to put occurs in plants, but cellular respiration occurs in all living organisms, right? We all need oxygen and sugar or food in order to make the type of energy that our bodies can use. So why are you learning about this in an environmental bio class? Well, this information is really important to understanding how ecosystems are put together. And we will go into that when we talk about food webs. Okay, so I am going to stop this recording. My next recording will be the last two parts of this PowerPoint, food webs and ecological pyramids. Soon as I can find this.